What an evening on Sports Update coming to your screen from Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashemi and I've got Omonile Lasson, a usual suspect on the show this evening. Omonile Lasson, welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV.
Thank you for having me this evening. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, let's begin from this. Let's shoot from this story where the National Youth Games, the 2024 National Youth Games to be hosted by Delta State in Asaba. All events will happen at Stephen Keshi Stadium and also some designated centers in Asaba. We know during the 2022 National Sports Festival also went down there a whole lot. They hosted the last edition of the Youth Games and now they are hosting the 8th edition of the Youth Games. And as it stands, the local organizing committee opens Games Village right there in Asaba.
Yeah, I think it's a great one. Like you said, over the years, Delta State, Asaba in particular, have been very instrumental in the development of our sport. They've hosted several games, and like I've always advocated for, we need games like this, we need competitions like this to help help identify talents, help nurture our talents, help our youth, our young people discover their talents and then nurture it, which is very important. And then let's see what all come out of this. Hopefully we see some records broken, another new one set, and then
records broken and new one set. We'll have our own FCT team also that will be participating at the 8th edition of the National Youth Games. Athletes are gotten from this place and we saw some of them during the Paris 2024 Olympic Games and even just the concluded Paralympic Games. There were athletes that were discovered during the National Youth Games that represented Nigeria. Like you mentioned, this is our own small, should I say small Olympics?
Yeah.
Because the big one is, the big Olympics for us here in Nigeria is the National Youth Games where you have a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
But now, this is the age grade one where you have, now, FCT over the years, we've been trying. The last edition, we came 7th. FCT normally maintains that 7th position.
Yeah.
What can we do to improve? Now, let's talk about FCT. What can we do to improve from, at least to get a better outing this time around?
Well, I think people have to go in. Guys have to go in motivated. You have to understand that this is just a beginning. This is not where it ends, right? So that should serve to you as a motivation. Nothing stops you, nothing breaks you, and then keep your eyes out. And then understand that whoever performs here will go on. They usually have great careers ahead. I mean, you just mentioned it. A lot of people who came out in the last edition went on to represent Nigeria at the Olympics and then the Paralympics. So keep that in mind when you are competing. And then going forward, I mean, schools are going to be resuming very soon. Let's bring this down, dilute this into our schools, our primary schools and our secondary schools, so that we'll have some sort of games, some competitions to bring out this talent amongst our young people. Let's encourage sports. I mean, I have said this over and over again on this program. We are a sports-loving country. We must show it in our participation. But everybody should go in motivated, go in thinking that there's a bigger picture out there beyond this game. So you put in your best right now.
Okay, there's a bigger picture out there beyond this one. And for the 8th edition of the National Youth Games, it will be coming up in Delta State. That game started today and the Games Village was open for at least it's registration day, and I believe from tomorrow event games will start properly at the Stephen Keshi Stadium and other designated centers in Asaba. We know one popular name, St. Patrick College, will be one of the venues that will be used for some of the games. All right, let's leave the country and go to South Africa, where we have our 2 junior teams, the D Tigers, the Junior D Tigers, and the Junior D Tigers. And one of them bounced back winning ways, and the other one, after getting a win in the match they won in their first game, and they lost their third game to Uganda. That is the D Tigers of Nigeria. They suffer a very heavy. They suffer. Let me not say a heavy defeat, though. The game ended 64 points. 80 points for Uganda and 64 for Nigeria. It's not that a heavy defeat compared to what the D Tigers did to Zimbabwe. 1-0 something to.
Yeah, that game against Zimbabwe was almost comical. It's unbelievable. It's like when you are playing PS with your friends at home, and then you are whooping them mercilessly. But unfortunately, I mean, I think now that the Tigers are the senior level with Coach Waneka are doing so well, I think these girls understand what it was before them. You have to impress the coach that is ahead of you. Of course, they are not there yet, but that's where they are moving into. But then let's encourage them. Basketball has not really been over the years, a sport that Nigeria excels in, if I may use that word. But we can do better. We can keep developing. And let's not forget, this is the junior Tigress. So this is where you are allowed to make mistakes. You make mistakes at the age grade level, and then you can correct them. So you can look back, look at the videos, look at the replays, and go, okay, what did we get right? What did we get wrong? And how can we keep replicating that Zimbabwe result?
Well, for basketball, if you look at Nigeria, basketball, football and basketball has been the sports people, because football is the bride for everybody in Nigeria and even in the world, and then basketball is the second sport in Nigeria before you talk of, and athletics used to be there, but now athletics is coming back, that Nigeria has been doing so well. We really need, like you mentioned, you are allowed to make mistakes at this particular level. Now, looking at the D Tigress and D Tigers, what is the way forward for these two national teams?
I think something that works for football is our ability. Football is low cost. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Are you sure?
What I mean by that is this: 4 of us can come together, put some stones somewhere, buy a football. I mean, maybe pick an orange, and then we're kicking. And then from there, talents are getting breeded and getting developed. Basketball is a little bit more expensive. You know, you need the hoops and whatever. To buy the ball itself, to mount the basket and what have you. So what we can do is to encourage local participation in this sport. So the way you see mini football stadiums, mini football pitches. We don't
have basketball courts.
We don't really have that like that. So we need to encourage more of that. And like I said, well, you are allowed to make mistakes at this level. You are allowed to maybe falter a little bit at this level. But let's see what we have done right and what we have done wrong, and then what can be corrected going forward. And then we have to again encourage local participation. Let us build more basketball arenas, build more hoops, build more baskets, and then encourage people. It's not just about trying to be a footballer. Everybody's not going to be a footballer, obviously. At all. But we have several other sports, hundreds of sports, if I may, that we can participate in. And hopefully we'll do that.
Or hopefully we'll do better for the D Tigress. It was a painful defeat because both of them actually needed that game. And D Tigress won the first set of that game before they lost second, third, and the last set. Let's see how that goes. But for the D Tigers, Junior D Tigers, it was a good one, bouncing back from the loss to Egypt. Both teams who are still ongoing. Nigeria have won the competition 6 times alongside Egypt, so we are the highest winner of the under-18 Afro-Basket competition. Now let's come back home and talk NPFL. Yes, it was a sweet games, match day 1 in the Nigerian Premier Football League. We would like to have that result in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Those results, we saw them in the morning show. We'll still look at those results, but we're looking at one man who started well with his team, Rivers United. That is for Finidi George. Despite the goalkeeper was red carded in the second half of that game, they were able to hold on tight at the Samuel Ogbumdia Stadium. 10 men against 11, and it ended goalless. Finidi George coming out to say, yes, well done, boys.
Yeah, first of all, Finidi needed a win. Finidi has not been having a wonderful few weeks, but he you have to understand when a goalkeeper gets sent off, it becomes very, very dicey, very, very dicey for the team. I mean, you have to bring in a backup goalkeeper that might not necessarily have been playing for a very long time, and then you ultimately start looking at who do you substitute. A lot of people like to go for, okay, should we substitute a striker or a midfielder? It unbalances the entire team. So for them to hold on and get a result from there is commendable. And I'm glad Coach Finidi is happy with his boys, and then everybody's happy. I mean, it's game 1. So hopefully, we'll see better results from Coach Finidi.
Okay, I'll still come back to the last one. The result is on the screen. We have Remo Stars getting one of their away wins, 2-0 against Abia Warriors. That game, Bendel Insurance and Rivers United goalless draw at the Samuel Ogbumdia Stadium. Heartland also in a rented derby. 2 coaches who are just, let me say, for Coach Olariwaju Yema, as he is called, this is officially He was given that appointment as an Enyimba coach. And then we have Heartland FC of Owerri, who Emmanuel Amunike is handling. That's his first team in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Kano Pillars at the Sani Abacha Stadium 3-0, though there were some controversies surrounding that game. Kwara United lost at home to Niger Tornadoes 2-1. We will be bringing you the highlights of those goals from Niger Tornadoes, those 2 goals. And then we have Nasarawa United and Shooting Stars played the 1-1. We'll also give you the highlight of those games, of that particular game. Plateau United and Katsina United, 1-0 for Plateau, 1-0 against Katsina United, and Sunshine Stars trashed Bayelsa United 3-0. I think for the first match they won the Nigerian Premier Football League, 1, 2, we saw 3 away wins in match day 1. Massive one. I think I'm loving the NPFL. I've got all my, at least I'm going to have 3 to 4 jerseys of Nigerian.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to point it out, but then it's not something that happens often, that people, that football teams win away from home in this country. But now it's coming back, and then we're getting lots of it, 3 in just one weekend, which is brilliant. And then we are scoring a lot of goals, as you can see on the score sheet. One team I am proud of and I'm rooting for is the Niger Tornadoes, and I'm glad they won.
Okay, I know why you are rooting for Niger Tornadoes.
And like you said, of course, it's also nice to see the big boys back doing their business. You know, Enyimba, Remo Stars, and Kano Pillars. These are, you know, the quote-unquote traditional big boys that we've had in the Nigerian Premier League. And again, like you said, I might also be getting the football jersey of Niger Tornadoes.
Okay.
I'm super proud of
We are super proud of Niger Tornadoes. It was a beautiful weekend in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Let us roll that highlight. Kwara United, as in those 2 goals against Kwara United at their township, Ilorin Township Stadium, and also we'll look at the highlights of Nasarawa United against Shooting Stars of Ibadan, where it ended 1-1. Let's just have those highlights quickly, and we'll be back to talk more. Yes, you saw that highlight just goes between Niger Tornadoes and Kwara United at the Ilorin Township Stadium, 2-1 against the home team. Niger Tornadoes getting one of their away wins in the first match day 1 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. If we continue like this, yes, the Nigerian Premier Football League will be better than some of the leagues in the world, not just on the continent of Africa. You mentioned officiating quickly. I think the NFF and the NRA, that is Nigerian Referee Association, are working very hard to see that they sanitize this league, we get the best of officiating, and I know what they have done before the beginning of the season.
Yeah, we saw some movement before the beginning of the season. We saw some talks about training and stuff. And I also remember they had a meeting with the security chiefs and all of that. I think there are two things we need to get right. First of all, is our officiating, and then secondly, we need to get more of our people to come to this stadium and watch games.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to watching a lot of Nigeria Tornadoes games this season.
All right, we already have one Nigeria Tornadoes fans in the studio. If you're a Nigeria Tornadoes fan right now, you have another person here in the studio, and we'll be looking at all of Nigerian Premier Football League fixtures, games, scores, results, and some highlights of our league. If we don't talk about it, nobody will. All right, let's leave the shores of the country and let's go straight to they are already in Kigali, Rwanda, but we'll look at this particular story where Gernot Rohr said yes, Super Eagles the better team on Saturday evening.
Well, did he have a choice? Did he? We showed ourselves. I mean, everybody were on their game on this
of
weekend.
Course.
I mean, I was, as a Nigerian, when you're watching that match, you for 90 minutes you forgot about all the problems in the country, and then you're enjoying beautiful football. And watching all our boys were exceptional, and of course, the Coach Rohr had to concede. It wasn't like before. It was like meeting a new team. So big shout out. I knew that Coach Iguavon got some slacks when he came in. People were doubting him about whether he could. And you remember I always say we need a Nigerian to coach the Nigerian team. And of course it's not the end. There's still a lot of matches to be played. There's still a lot of things that we need to do. But it's been a great start for Coach Augustine Iguavon. And I'm so proud of the team. I'm so proud of the results.
Okay, you're so proud of the team. All right, let's go straight to the camp of the Super Eagles, where they landed in Kigali. We have the video of that trip where the Super Eagles team actually landed in Kigali, and we'll be looking at this. Rwanda bangs on fans home advantage to beat the Super Eagles. It's a new stadium, and now they are calling for fans to troop in mass against the Super Eagles.
Of course, I don't expect anything less. Let them come out. Let's showcase the best of Africa. Let's show that Africans are actually loving football. We're passionate about football, and we back our own. But whatever happens, I don't care how many people are in the stadium. I don't care what color they're wearing. Ademola Lookman will be banging goals. Victor will be banging goals. Victor Boniface will be banging goals. Truth Ekong will be solid at the back.
Shemia
Ajayi will be solid at the back. No. And then we have the very dependable Manuma Bali in between the sticks.
That name, someone who came in the night.
So of course, I expect the Rwanda guys to put in their best, but then again, sometimes your best is just not enough.
Yes, of course. Now let's look at this game. For the Super Eagles, going far away, we saw a different Super Eagles, no matter how we look at it.
Yeah.
Benin Republic, we know they are no longer small countries, small team when it comes to football. If you are not careful, you get the beating of your life. Now playing against Rwanda, what should Ugwevan do? What should we opt for?
I think more of the same. There's an old saying in football: you don't change a winning team, don't change a winning tactic. A 3-0 win, of course, at home was very convincing. Let's step on the pedal just a little bit more. Keep doing what you're doing. Maintain the focus. Maintain the passion. One person I am very happy with is Victor Osimhen, who hadn't played an official game in several months, and then was humble enough this time, surprisingly and shockingly, to be humble enough to sit on the bench, and then came in when it was needed, and then still did his business. So let's keep on that.
Even while he was on the bench, we saw how he was motivating the guys on the pitch of play, and when he came in, we saw that beautiful goal. We can't bring you the highlight of that goal, but in subsequent shows we'll bring you the full highlights of that game. Beautiful goal for Victor Osimhen, and someone say NFF made the right move by inviting him.
Of course, sometimes playing for your national team is a different ball game. You see some players in Europe who they are a different beast when they are in their country compared to when they are at their club. I mean, look at people like Scott McTominay, David Alaba, who they are not really bad players, but when they are playing for their national team, it's different. Look at Shaqiri from Switzerland. So the same thing should be said and can be said of Victor Osimhen. I mean, nobody doubts his talents. The man is a very, very talented footballer. I mean, you can see what everybody wanted him at their club. But now it's good to see him happy, good to see him focused, and good to see him making headlines on the pitch where he's supposed to be making it.
Okay, he's going to be making headlines on the pitch where he's supposed to make those headlines. He's now a player of Galatasaray in the Turkish Super League. And let's see how that game will go tomorrow, right there against the Amavubis of Rwanda. All right, moving ahead on the show, let's quickly look at the AFCON qualifiers. We've got games coming up tonight, and some games have started already, but we'll quickly look at the fixture. Madagascar against Comoros, that is in Group A. We have in Group B, Lesotho against Morocco. In Group E, Guinea will take on Togo. Niger will play Ghana, who lost their own game to Angola at the Babayara Stadium in Ghana. We have Angola, who is with all hopes, high hopes, with their shoulders high, will be welcoming Sudan. And then in Group H, Ethiopia take on Congo DR. Uganda will play the other Congo, that is Congo Brazzaville. Yes, this is a continuation of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Let's leave the shores of the continent and go straight to Europe. It is the UEFA Nations League. We have results of games played yesterday. We could run over it and look at the fixture. Gibraltar, Liechtenstein 2-2, Slovakia 2 against Azerbaijan, Croatia 1, Poland 0, Portugal, CR7, the man with all the records right now, 2-1 against Scotland after Scott McTominay gave Scotland that lead early enough, but they leveled through Bruno Fernandes before the man himself, CR7, a man who is carrying the country on his shoulder, got that second goal. Sweden trashed Estonia 3-0, Luxembourg 0, Belarus 1, Bulgaria 1, Northern Ireland 0. And then in Group 4, we have Denmark beat Serbia 2-0, and Switzerland lost to Spain 4-1. Let's go to the flip side of it quickly and look at the other result. Georgia beat Czech Republic 4-1. Surprisingly, Ukraine lost to Albania 2-1. Moldova 2, Malta 0. Republic of Ireland lost to England 2-0. And Greece trashed Finland 3-0. Germany put on 5 pass on Hungary 5-0. And then Netherlands beat Bosnia Herzegovina 5-2. Faroe Islands and North Macedonia played 1-1. And Armenia trashed Latvia 4-1. Let's look at the fixtures for tonight. Games will be coming up tonight. We have a continuation of the UEFA Nations League. We will look at those fixtures, but quickly one or two to say, because we are almost out of time, about CR7, the man with all the records. Well,
the man just cannot stop scoring right now, and if you're a fan of football, a fan of good football, a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, you're obviously very happy. And again, it's nice to see him still doing his business. I mean, there was a match over the weekend where we saw when Rooney, almost out of shape, still practically struggling. And then you will not believe
got a beautiful goal from that set piece.
Of course, he got a beautiful goal. But you wouldn't believe that when Rooney is actually younger than Cristiano Ronaldo, who is still doing it at an international level. Whatever you have to say about the man, about his character, whatever, you have to give it to him as an outstanding footballer and one of the best that ever played the game.
Yes, one of the best that has ever played the game. We will be bringing you the fixtures of games that will be played tonight. And we also saw we saw one game, Italy, France, quickly. After France being ahead to Bakula, and it was.
I think it was the surprise game of the weekend for me, because of course Italy, you expect them to put up a good fight, but I really expect that a team like France will go down to Italy. I mean, that French team is packed from their goalkeeper to their forwards, but unfortunately they've not been able to do it. They have not really been consistent over the last few matches. I mean, even in the Euros, they struggled a little bit. And shout out to Italy, and I think they are back. They are playing very good football, and hopefully we'll see more of it. That's what we love in football, actually.
Okay, let's just run over the fixtures for tonight. Cyprus, we play Kosovo. France against Belgium. That is a cracker. Israel versus Italy. Romania will battle Lithuania, all in Group 2 and in Group 3. Norway against Austria. Slovenia will play Kazakhstan. In Group 4, we have Montenegro versus Wales, and Turkey will battle Iceland. These are some of the games that will be coming up tonight. Quickly, Belgium, France.
Yeah, both teams have a lot to prove. Hopefully, maybe France are looking for redemption. Belgium, of course, too, have been not always as impressive, especially with their quote and unquote golden generation. But then that's why we football fans love it.
Okay,
to give us a nice picture to watch.
All right, let's just take 2 transfer stories on the show. We'll start with this one. Barcelona targets Jonathan Tah and Joshua Kimmich Both of them are for the German machine. And then Kieran Trippier eyes Newcastle United exit. And the last one this evening on the show, Manchester United makes move for Sevilla winger Gianlu Sanchez. All right, that is what we'll be leaving it on Sports Updates. Thanks for joining this evening. It's been a wonderful one having you.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, that is it on the program Sports Update. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. Say thanks for watching.